Hey guys, Fastestpastor here. I am here with, I'm going to say this because now it's official, the legendary Andy Kilcoyne. In fact, he's officially been given that title on social media. So if it's on social media, it's true. But he is legendary. Andy, as you guys know...
Should fact check that.
I think it's in Wikipedia.
Okay.
Note to self, Wikipedia Andy Kilcoyne. We'll make it happen. Anyways, I'm here with the legendary Andy Kilcoyne. As you guys know, my good friend. He's also the man who is the genius behind my Pikes Peak program and many other projects we have going on here together. Andy, so we've released, people know we're an LMP3. I keep getting questions. Everybody's wondering, why an LMP3? Why did we choose this? Why specifically this LMP3? And frankly, there's just a lot of crap about an LMP3. I don't know. And, you know, you've seen the video. I also don't know how to drive one. Truth. But so why? Tell us. What's going on?
Lots of reasons, really. Degree of safety. Obviously, prototypes are all about, downforce and grip and lightweight. And I like the LMP3 platform because of the roll structure that's in there. You get into a LMP1, LMP2 car, and you've got a solid carbon monocoque over top the driver. What I don't like about that is, heaven forbid that there is an opportunity for the car to go off the side of the mountain. Carbon doesn't react well on hit 2, 3, 4, and 5. And with the steel roll structure in there, the nice thing about the steel is if it does give, it'll give, and it's more forgiving on hit 2, 3, 4, 5. So I really like that on the safety aspect. Beyond that, there's not a ton of differences in the overall tub design. Other than that aspect of it, car's lightweight. It's incredibly safe. Bernice was obviously very safe.
Proven.
But these are all FIA crash tested, and they're pretty amazing pieces. So. We're going to go back with something that's lighter and lots more downforce and lots more grip and just kind of a new fun project.
So it's going to be cool. Andy really has a lot of anxiety right now because he hates when we show stuff in disarray. And we are literally have tore this car down. It was completely separated. It needed a lot of cleaning, things like that, typical stuff. And we're going through every piece. So we've got DJ working on it, which he's at lunch break. He's working on the car. What are things we're looking for, Andy? What are we looking for in the progression of this car as we tear it down and bring it back together?
A handful of things, really. I mean, there's things that pertain to endurance racing that doesn't pertain to under a 10-minute run up Pikes Peak. So we're looking at things that we can save weight on and remove because we don't need it. Going through just basically making sure the car is safe and up to snuff. Speeds are a lot different on Pikes Peak versus what you would see on a traditional road course. So a lot of different suspension things that we're going to do to the car that are not quite traditional of what a LMP3 car would be, but making it good and compliant for on the mountain. Right
now, our name of the game is get the car, go through it. I say Kelly Moss-eyes it. The one thing I've always loved about racing with Andy. I've never gotten in a car ever thought about safety. Never gotten in a car and thought about reliability. I've got in it and drove it. That's it. Never a second thought. And that's what I love about them going through this car is I'm going to have something I feel confident in. Along with that is we're also planning some upgrades, right? And so Pikes Peak is a demanding monster from the fact that you have an altitude difference. Your air density changes. So we're also trying to plan for the Pikes Peak piece. But right now the piece is get the car together. Andy wants to get me as much seat time as possible. I'll admit, I don't know how to drive a car like this. I mean, it's a downforce car. It's got different grip. It's got different handling. Getting the seat time is going to get me familiar with this car. And Andy brings a different way of thinking about things, which has always given me a car that performs and does well. And I'll continue to say it. The driver's been the detriment. So this year, Andy's focus is give me the same pieces I've had before: reliability, safety, innovation. But let's work on the driver. So right now it's about getting me seat time, and in the meanwhile, in the background, we're working on the Pikes Peak piece, which part of that is engine management, right? And so what are we doing with engine management this year that's not traditional to an LMP3?
We're still working through the planning stages of that. Basically, the horsepower to weight ratio of this car is phenomenal, but as you get up to towards the summit, any naturally aspirated engine just doesn't have the grunt. So the goal is to maintain the power that it's capable of creating, and make sure it runs that all the way to the top. If we can give Don a car that he can manage and drive the same from the start line to the finish line, we've done our job. And that's not an easy task, but think we're well up to it with what we learned the last couple of years, and I think Don's up to it. We're just gonna get out and pound laps at a lot of different tracks,
which I'm looking forward to.
Throw you at some new things that you haven't seen before, and get you really, really comfortable at feeling the car, and we'll just keep up the training program.
So we're going after, like, some of what Andy's talked about is the environment. I haven't raced in the rain before. Pikes Peak was the first time I ever had rain tires on, first year. Mm-hmm. We actually didn't need any this year, but first time with rain tires, never been on them. I remember asking Andy, like, what do I do? I didn't have a clue. So getting me experience in the rain, fog, night, things like that I'm looking forward to stretching me as a driver. I was telling Jameson earlier, I never pick things I'm good at to try to be good at. Most people probably don't, but it's not like a guy who can naturally throw a softball and be like, hey, I'm really good at baseball, or softball, or a guy that, hey, I can run really fast. No, you take the slow, fat kid and you're going to put him in a race car and try somehow make him fast. That's what I like about it. It's a challenge. So we're gonna see. But what I'm hoping is Andy will agree to tune in when we get the car back together. One thing that's really cool is how the LMP3 comes together. But also there's so much when it comes to suspension, how it's set up. It's cam style suspension, traditional coilover, and I would love to have you back, Andy, to explain the bits to us sometime when we're further along in the build, where you feel a little bit better about showing us the progress of the car.
Not feeling like I need to lay down in front of it so you can't see any of it.
So listen, Andy, I thank you again for everything, bro. I appreciate it, Andy. Listen, make sure you check them out. Kelly Moss, Andy Kilcoyne. The things you see that are innovative, they're coming from Andy, man. He's a visionary. Check it out. If you need someone to do a custom build, be it from Pikes Peak to an everyday driver that's high performance, check him out. Kelly Moss will do it for you. God bless you guys. Stay tuned. We'll have more to come.